Hey everyone, Tupaka here from Primal Training, presented by the Outer Rim Alliance. And you're listening to the Escape Pod Cast, recorded in front of a live studio audience. A live studio audience? Jeez. No pressure, guys. It's okay. Just picture the audience in their underwear. Then again, maybe not the best idea.
One is a territory war specialist from Australia. The other is a territory battle tactician from the U.S. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. But with over a combined 45 years of entertainment under their belt, the one thing we are sure of is that you will be entertained. The CFH Network presents the Escape Pod Cast, a weekly show about the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Scotty McLaren and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Pod Cast, rally your Separatist forces. Nute is no longer mute in your roster. Dooku finally becomes a count. No, not that sort of count. We'll head to the Round Holotable with fellow content creators Hellenix and Deadpool Kyle to discuss the game and some shameless self promotion. And we'll head to the clutches of the Outer Rim with the Grand Arena champion himself, the heartthrob Urzza. And the Escape Pod makes a major announcement at the end of the show that you do not want to miss. All this and breaking news as and if it happens, right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
It's so good to be back. It really is, and I'm telling you, man, there's so much news that happened in the last fortnight or so. But we got to kick it off, man. Nute Gunray is no longer a mute in your roster. Yes, that's right. He is no longer mute. He is now suddenly a viable character, Paul.
Yeah, you know what? He's a viable character as long as you're actually controlling him. But on the AI, he's trash. They're gonna have to fix that.
Yeah.
He uses extortion and forces enemies to buff the opposing team. I mean, he's such a complicated kit. The developers had to put out a FAQ.
That's right. They did. Frequently asked questions, for those of you that are wondering what that stands for. And they did, actually. And look, I like it. I really, really enjoy playing with Nute Gunray in the territory battles. And I've enjoyed playing with him as well in the Grand Arena too. And I have, believe it or not, Paul, I have used him in the arena. Shock and awe. And it's worked, man. It's worked. I've enjoyed it. And who have I used him with? Padme Armadella. Yeah, that's right. It works with Padme. You can extort the hell out of the opposition team, and I am loving that. So, she keeps healing him.
So you're breaking their heart.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm breaking their heart. Indeed I am. But, man, I love the Nute Gunray kit. I love the whole thing about him. I hope that, they managed to get the thing working properly the way it should. I'm sure they will. But, man, it is awesome. I love that kit. And it reminds me a lot of the bounty hunter kits, man. Like, instead of looking for a contract, you're getting the payout. You're extorting the crap out of these guys. It's awesome.
Well, the thing you need to mention about his kit here is that the extortion ability that fuels all of this is a cooldown of 2. And as I said, it's a special ability, so it can get pushed back. It's nothing to do with his main, and the enemy can cleanse it themselves. Also, on top of this, upon cleansing it, if you are a CLS, or if you're running something with Chewie, and the person who is weakest cleanses it, or Hans cleanses it, or Han, not Hans. If Han cleanses it, then Chewie's going to attack. It was an ability.
It was. But having said that, it's fun. You know, and there's been a lot of doom and gloom that's just been speculated about of late by a couple of game changers that are out there, or former game changers, or whatever the hell that's happened to that system. I don't know. But, you know, there's been a lot of, a lot of speculation about the doom and gloom of this game. Guys, honestly, have some fun. Nute Gunray is fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And so let's go ahead and touch on that real quick. So we have had... How many game changers have talked about the decline of Galaxy of Heroes and how game changers are over?
Been a few.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I might piss off some of our friends, but stop being Chicken Little. The sky is not falling.
Yeah,
the sky is absolutely not falling.
I agree.
We're right on the precipice of a lot of stuff that's going to be coming to this game that's been promised to us in the road ahead. The road ahead comes out every 3 months, right, Scotty?
That's correct. Yep. That is 100%.
So, and we were talking about this in the pre-show with, waiting for you to show up here. We talked about how it's been 6 weeks since we got the road ahead. We're 6 weeks away from finishing that road ahead. We're going to be seeing maybe Grand Arena Championships. We're going to be seeing maybe new territory battles very soon.
Yeah.
And it's going to be amazing.
And, you know, I've got to also throw out there too that, you know, Capital Games, you know, call me a shill all you like. But having said that, Capital Games giving us this couple of weeks to just worry about what we've got in our roster after we've just been bombarded with different characters and farming up legendaries and things like that. This couple of weeks has been really nice, man. I've really enjoyed, you know, the last few weeks of just, you know, farming what I need to, getting myself ready for the territory battle that's coming up very soon. And, man, like, I am loving the fact that we're not working towards anything right now, kind of, apart from the fact of, all right, well, we know that we're going to need the Separatists, right, for the territory battle. So that's what I've been focusing on, is the Geonosians and the Separatists.
We don't know if we're going to. That's the most likely thing for a Geonosis territory battle.
Yeah.
Is will we have the? You know, I'm thinking on the opposite side of it. I'm going. I need clones. And I need Galactic Republic Jedi.
Well, we know it's going to be Dark Side. This one's going to be Dark Side. So
we don't know that. I mean that's what the big rumor is.
Yeah, right.
You know, so we're about to complete a Dark Side territory battle now. So are they going to keep the light side, dark side, light side, dark side? You know, going where we get dark side at the end of the month? We don't know either way. But if the rumor is true, yes, you need to be building that up. But here's the linchpin to that, Scotty. I'm thinking that we are going to be doing light side first. My thinking is changing because we had Padme.
Right. So you're thinking that Padme,
and maybe they're going to feed out some other things. You know, that in the post a few weeks ago, Carrie said that there was a character slated for now, you know, the end of this month. You know, I think they're going to keep their promise. And we're going to see something coming up real soon, but what is that going to be? What will it be for? Will it be, you know, Commander Luke Skywalker-esque, where, you know, not Commander Luke Skywalker, I'm sorry, Captain Han Solo.
Yeah.
Are we going to be needing that? Because Commander Luke Skywalker, we already know, if it's like the old territory battle, we're going to need a 6-star, technically, 6-star Commander Luke Skywalker for the 6th slice, or the 5th slice of the territory battle. I mean, I want info on this territory battle badly, because I want to prepare the guild for it. But
I know.
Right now, it's radio silence. You know, we talked about how we would have breaking news as and if it happens. You want to know the only thing that we got this week, Scotty?
What's that?
We got it approximately an hour and a half ago. Hi, Holotable heroes. Last Friday, I posted a survey inviting you to submit your questions for an upcoming Dev Q&A. The breaking news that we have right now is that the Dev Q&A is at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Pacific next Wednesday.
Right.
That's the only information that we have. We have the Dev Q&A coming up next week. That's the only information we have. I'm chomping at the bit, man. I want some information to be dropped so we can dissect it. But you know what that means is that we're going to have tons of material because we can comb through the developer Q&A. And, they said that they're not going to be worrying. They're not going to be dodging any of the hard questions. They're going to be answering them. So bring it on. Let's get some info going.
Yeah, look, I agree. But having said that, I'm enjoying just kicking back in the game at the moment. And I've felt that, for quite some time, I've been sort of like, hey, I just want to have a break from a few things, for me, it's just something that I've really, really enjoyed is just kicking back, leveling up my Nute Gunray, leveling up my, Count Dooku, leveling up my Geonosians, getting them all ready for for the upcoming whatever's next in the game. But not only that, also finding a way in which I can use the Geonosians as well. I mean, they are a pretty viable ship combination, the Geos, and I will deploy them on my, Grand Arena defense. I mean, everyone says, oh, well, why don't you put your Millennium Falcon down? No, it's because it's usually a mirror match, for the ships. We're currently in that at the moment, where we're battling and using ships at the moment, which is fun. So, look, I got to say that I'm not someone that hasn't enjoyed, certain things and certain things that have been happening, like the Malik thing in the arena. I haven't really enjoyed that. But, I'm finding little ways in which I can actually do things, to make things better. So, it's going to be fun. But, mate, look, just getting back to the territory battle on Geonosis. In the Road Ahead blog, they say this. With our eyes on Clone Wars, we are thrilled to announce that around the time of the next big feature update, which is TU16, which will land inside the next 3 months. Now, this was posted on the 10th of April. They say here, we will be launching the first map of a brand new territory battle located on Geonosis. In anticipation of the launch of a brand new map, we recently streamlined the Hoth map platoons so players can more effectively clear Hoth. The new Geonosis map will have new characters along with special events.
Okay.
And we are eager to share more details as we get closer to the release. So there's new characters, which has been said in their thing, that are coming to this. So now that leads me to the next thing.
So we do get characters. I mean, that's going to be pretty much. We kind of could read the tea leaves there, that there are going to be new characters, but are they going to be characters for current factions?
Well,
or are they going to be a new faction?
I'm not sure, but there was also a post that was written not so long ago as well, where they were telling us about how we were going to have a break for this particular month, where we can, just focus on what we need to do. And I'm just looking for that at the moment. But it's where they said to us, look, we know that we are aware of all the issues that you guys have been talking about, blah, blah, blah. But we're going to be having
that was a dev update from Kerry.
Yeah, so we're aware of that. I'm just looking for that right now. It was to do with the territory wars. I'm not sure. No, I'm just looking for it now. But anyway, look, they were saying as well that that they did have scheduled a marquee event for this month, but they've pushed it back to next month. Yeah. So here we go. So this was in Carrie's post. Here it is. I've got it here. This was posted on
April 30th.
Yeah, I've got it right here. Absolutely. So what she's saying here is talking about the gifts. She's talking about Jedi Knight Anakin. She's talking about Nute Gunray and certain things like that. Here we go. Here it is. Here's the lineup. All right. In the lead up to the Dark Side Geonosis territory battle, we are going to be releasing reworks of Count Dooku and Nute Gunray as a part of the lead up to the Dark Side Geonosian territory battle. These characters are meant to fit into the territory battle specifically, and Nute Gunray is getting a significant rework that we will also share closer to his rework, which we all know about right now, which is good. So it's a Dark Side territory battle. You just got to pluck the tea leaves out, man, and find the little bits of information.
So they did say Dark Side.
They did.
I retract that they didn't say.
Yeah, no, it's in
my apologies on that. You know, I wouldn't put it past them though to possibly change it up. You know, but that's a good thing.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, I agree. But you know,
but the biggest thing out of all of this, Scotty, was the fact that I finally had to make a choice. And this has been the hardest choice that I've had to make this entire game. Of the 3 remaining characters that I don't have at 7 stars, should I farm Rose, Aurora, or Vandor Chewbacca? That has been the hardest choice that I've had to make this entire time.
Man, that's an easy choice.
Yeah.
Vandor Chewbacca. What are you doing? Farm him. He's the best of the 3.
I've been farming all 3 of them, and they're already almost at 7 stars. I'm ready for the marquee.
Yeah, nice.
I really am.
Nice. Well, speaking of which, I found that little bit of information here about this. Now, she says, while we won't be able to reveal... This is from that same post on the 30th. While we won't be able to reveal every character well in advance, we know that from that last post that there will be characters coming to the territory battle. So we just got to put all this together here. While we won't be able to reveal every character well in advance, we'll endeavour to do it when we can, which will hopefully give you some understanding of expectations. I'll note, this is Carrie's words, not mine, I'll note that there was a new marquee / galactic chase character planned for May, which will likely get moved out. So at the moment, absent of that single marquee chase, there are no other characters planned in May, so you can use that time to focus on gearing up the characters that you've already required recently and planning your next in-game move for the Dark Side Geonosian territory battle. Bam.
There you go. I mean, I'm hoping we get something next week. We're certainly going to be getting the Q&A. Maybe they'll reveal stuff in the Q&A. That's
going to come.
That actually makes sense to me. Revealing all of the territory battle information in the Q&A.
Yeah, that's right.
I bring that on.
Yeah.
Give me, but you know me. Give me numbers. Tell me what we need in there.
Yeah, look,
but
I can see your point, man. I can see your point.
We've been going on about this.
I can see your point.
We've been going on about this, and we totally have not talked. And we need to get to a break in a moment. We need to cover Dooku.
No, we'll cover him in a second, man. But I just want to make a point here. You just want the spreadsheet, brother. That's all you want. You want to create the spreadsheet. I get it.
I do want to create a spreadsheet. You're right.
I do. I get it. I do. But mate, let's talk about Dooku. And man. You know, the animations on Dooku, round of applause to CG for these. They are sensational. You know, I'm still looking for a way in which I can make Dooku viable. So if you guys have found a way, tell me in the listener comments as to what you guys have found. Because, you know, for me,
I've got your way.
Yeah, right. You've got one, have you?
I've got your Sith Triumvirate lead with Traya.
Yeah.
And use Savage and use Dooku.
See, I'm looking for a Separatist team for Dooku. I'm trying to find...
For a Separatist team.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we're going to get.
Yeah, I'm looking for that. Because I don't want to take... You know, I mean, like, okay, Grievous is great, you know, and I like that Grievous lead, and I like the Grievous droids that are with him, and I like all that. I don't want to separate them. I'm looking for more... Sort of, okay, so I'm putting together this weird and wonderful team. I think you're going to like this one, Paul, and it's one that's kind of worked for me in a little bit of a way. And I've actually gone with a Kira lead and L337, Vandor Chewbacca, Count Dooku, and Nute Gunray. I found a way for that sort of thing to work.
I was thinking you were going to say... that is entirely the mismatched team, the odd couple of people.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I found it does work in Grand Arena. It can take down some teams. I'm not saying it's meta changing, but it certainly can take down some teams. I have found that Count Dooku's can work in that 5th character slot with Padme. You know, when you get the stuns away and he just continues to counterattack. That does work, but he doesn't really get the buffs that Padme gives, so I've subbed him out of there. So I've been doing a fair bit of testing, man, with Nute Gunray and also Count Dooku, and I'm really interested to hear what people have got, you know, in Separatist teams. I mean, Sun Fac I've used, so...
Yeah, Dochison here is in our chat right now saying that heal, immunity, and plague seem like a nasty combo. So Dooku... as a Night Sister leader.
Yeah, that does work. I have used that. Yes, that's very true. I have used that. It certainly does work. It's a good one. I really, really enjoy that one. It's the plague, and it's nasty. It's so nasty. But, you know, again, I don't want to separate my Night Sisters. I don't want to separate my droids. I don't want to separate my, the factions that are really good. Because, let's face it, I mean, like with Kira, she's a great lead, but I'm using the character from the Old Republic. I put together a full Old Republic team, with Zalbar and Mission. So that goes there. So with Kira and L3 together, they're just like, peas and carrots on a plate, really. And then, you throw Vandor Chewbacca into it too with the revives. If he gets, if he gets things away, he gets his buffs away, then that's good. So I've tried it with Nute and I've tried it with Count Dooku. It does kind of work. So, I'm enjoying that. I do use, I have used Dooku. I used to use him in the past in my Traya Triumvirate squad, but to be fair, my Traya is not even 7 stars yet. So, that's probably why I'm not seeing the benefits from that. Paul?
The ROI, if you will.
Yeah. So, I'm nearly at 6 stars. Nearly. But, I'm not being salty at all about it. Like, I'm just enjoying theory crafting, testing teams at the moment, getting myself ready for this dark side territory battle that we're going to be seeing on Geonosis. And that's why I'm working out these different teams that might just work, especially as we head into that. Because I've got a funny feeling, Paul, that the dark side territory battle, man, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough, especially after the legendary events that we've been seeing lately. This is going to be hard, man. This is going to be really hard.
Everything can't be, forgive the crudeness of the expression, but everything can't be balls hard if they want to keep everybody.
Yeah.
So while this might not be easy, I super hope that it's not going to be your entire group having to defeat Padme and Jolie Findu.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I hope not either. And
if Findu shows up, I swear to God, I'm throwing my.
No, what you need, man, is you need a spreadsheet. That'll help you out. Oh, dear, oh, dear.
I hate you. Go to break.
I will. Hey, look, there was a big survey that was released earlier this week on Reddit. Unfortunately, I never saw the link. Paul, did you see the link before we go to the break, man? Did you see the link to actually participate in the survey?
I didn't get to participate, but you know what? The information that we got, it's golden. And we're going to be talking to both the salty Spartan, Hellenix, and the vicious Viking, Deadpool Kyle, coming up right after this break right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
Hi, this is Cyphermaster SB Crumb, and you're listening to the Escape Pod Cast. This show was recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Nikias Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Macias will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Macias has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans and more. Contact Macias today on Discord at all lowercase Macias number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127 or at maciasmods@gmail.com. Macias Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Podcast.
Like what you hear on the Escape Podcast? Want to support Scotty and Paul? Then sign up to be a Patreon. For as low as $2 a month, you can help them launch Escape Pods for months to come. Visit patreon.com/theescapepod to sign up. Support us today.
This is Cubs fan Han, and you're listening to the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Podcast, the Round Holotable.
And we are, of course, in a brand new segment for today where we thought we'd get a couple of different content creators on to join us in the Round Holotable, Paul.
Yeah, it's actually, this is going to be something that, maybe we do every week, maybe we do every other week, but we definitely want to get everybody else's take that has done content creation. So if you are a content creator and you want to join in on this Holo Roundtable, get in touch with Scotty or I. We're more than happy to have you on because this is, as we have said, Scotty, our podcast is the community's podcast.
That's right. It's the people's show. And joining us, well, we've got two very, very strong people that I am extremely excited about that have, of course, joined us. These two you might see pop up every now and again on Urzatron's live stream, and you'll also see him quite a bit in ours as well. Hellenix and Deadpool Kyle. Hello, guys. Welcome to the Escape Podcast.
Hello, everyone.
Howdy. Thanks for having us, guys.
You are more than most welcome. Now, look, today we've got to talk about something that's a little bit, well, I guess you could say people are talking about at the moment, and it's a bit controversial. There was a brand new survey which was just uploaded to Reddit just recently about the state of the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and I know a number of content creators have been talking about the state of the game. Deadpool Kyle, I'll go to you first, my friend. What are your thoughts on the actual survey which has been released? What are you thinking? What was your takeaway from it?
Well, I took a look at the survey. I didn't know until they had actually released the results. I never actually saw the poll go up, but it was a very interesting survey. And over the last, I don't know, let's say from the beginning of the year, the game seems to have gotten thrown into a weird direction that we've never really seen. Last year, we kind of got marquee overload. Here is kind of being legendary overload. So there's a little bit of exhaustion, I feel, in the community. So this survey kind of pointed that direction as well.
Well, they did say that, or I'm hearing a lot of that going around. But, one of the first questions on here was, how would you rate Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes overall? And I just did the math while I was sitting here. 74.9% rate it between 7 and 10. Hellenix, what about you? I mean, what would you rate this, and what are your thoughts on the whole thing as well?
My rating on the game right now would be a 6 or a 7 in its current state, and it's a reflection of like DPK was saying, the pendulum seems to always swing violently in one direction, and then there's a course correction and it gets violently swung in the other direction, and there isn't a lot of balance. Overall, anyone who enjoys this intellectual property is gonna have fun playing this game. We have to remember that a 5 is a very neutral position. right? On a scale of 1 to 10. So what I took away was that it isn't, a huge chunk at 10. Awesome. It's not even on the graph. If you look at the graph, it's not even big enough to have a label in it.
Yeah, not a label inside.
I
mean, you got 3.7% say that it is awesome, while the biggest chunk is 35.3 saying it's an 8. It's good.
It's good. Yeah. The running joke that I have in my guild family right now, and with a couple of other content creators, I'm the salty Spartan lately when it comes to SWGOH. So I'm a little bit on the lower side of that scale. But, I think my point is that we all really want it to be a 10, right? I don't think any of us don't want that. Whether it's the people who did the survey or DPK, myself, you guys, anybody else, any of the criticisms given are always to try to get it closer to the 10.
And look, Deadpool Kyle, I'll throw this over to you now too, man, because it's interesting. My big takeaways from this were that the squad arena has become a massive chore. It's so-so. It's fairly enjoyable, but mainly the big chunk is it's mostly just the chore and it's so-so. And I'd imagine that might have something to do with the Malik meta. The other one that was interesting too was that the territory battles is actually pretty enjoyable according to a lot of people, and very enjoyable. But yet territory wars is becoming a bit of a chore for a lot of people, and it's so-so, but it's fairly enjoyable. But what was your takeaway from those sorts of things, Deadpool Kyle? I found that interesting.
I actually did as well. I actually consider consider this is from myself. I find territory battles kind of interesting at times, but most of the time it's just monotonous. We've had the same thing for a year and a half now, give or take.
Yeah,
it's I think there's a lot of anxiety between getting the new one and trying to get the guild ready. But seeing territory battles actually get so many people ranked it so high, that was actually really surprising, because that feels like more of a chore. And I tend to agree with the squad arena as it being competitive in nature. Squad arena has actually felt more of a chore lately. I do my 5 battles a day, and that's about it.
Yeah,
I don't try to push any higher. I get to my comfort zone, sit there, and collect my reward.
Yeah, and I find that as well, especially that the same with the squad arena and the ship arena. Both have been looked at as a massive chore, and I guess that comes down to the whole thing of the Millennium Falcon and also the Darth Malik meta that we're currently in. So that's what I feel as if is the issues here, but. Very interesting takeaways from this too, guys. And Hellenix, what are your thoughts on this, man? Especially the squad arena and the fleet arena. Do you think that maybe we need to review these two parts of the game?
Definitely. And the reason why is because it's the main crystal income source for the game, right? So the better you do in squad arena and fleet arena, the more crystals you have. The crystals is the in-game currency. It's what allows you to gear up your characters and all that. And let's say 1 year ago, squad arena was a very different place. You'd have anywhere between 2 and 4 teams. There was always it seemed like an attempt to try to make it balanced so that there's always a rock paper scissors style meta. It was actually, that's something that a lot of people, used to call it. And now we see that it's not only, especially, in my situation, I'm an endgame player, higher tier, super competitive squad arena. And we all in the top 50, 40 of us have Darth Revan and Darth Malik. And the person who wins is the one with the highest speed, to the point where a single point difference in speed cost you the match. There are some workarounds for the mediocre modded squad arena teams that people have, but in my particular squad arena, there's a couple of guys with 330 speed Revens.
I want to also throw this out there. I mean, they went into the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes issues and opinions. They were talking about the Zetas, the Omegas, the credit crunch, the gear crunch, and also panic farming. But there was one thing that they didn't talk about, and I'm really surprised that they didn't, and that was mods. What are you guys thinking? I mean, do you think that mods are an issue for this game? I was surprised that it wasn't asked. I really was.
That is, don't you?
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Kyle. Please.
Mods. This is not Galaxy of Heroes. It is Galaxy of Mods. This meta is absolute, for better term of the word, cancer. If you don't have the right speeds, you're going to get hosed. Someone that, and this is, I've been a passionate player since launch. I've felt all the enjoyment slowly get sucked out of the game. Sorry. See, I'm getting worked up.
He's getting choked up because of the mods.
Slowly get sucked out of the game because I have a very specific mod regimen that I followed to the T. I've been farming. I've been more or less focused in about a year and a half focused on mods, and that's my issue. But I don't have the high end speeds. I don't have. I pretty religiously spent money on the game, and I have that away because of certain comments, but another story. So I got Darth Revan, but I did not get Darth Malak because I worked the weekends. I did not have time to bash my head against the wall.
Well, DPK, I mean, Deadpool Kyle, I mean, I got to say that you're not alone there. I mean, Paul and I both didn't get Darth Malak either. I think Hellenix is the only one that has him in this conversation. And, for me, I just didn't have the DPS to get through him. I know I've spoken about that a few times, but, I know that Hellenix is the only one that's had him. But, yeah, I found that very, very interesting about the mods part of it was not actually thrown in there. But I did take away that the power creep is definitely a very big problem. And I'd agree with that. Now, Hellenix, you're really good at explaining this, man, like the power creep. And for those people that are sitting there scratching their heads saying, what is the power creep? Can you explain to those that are listening?
Absolutely. The power creep is something that affects every game, and it's something that every developer of every game tries to control. But it is something that is also in small doses necessary to keep the game progressing forward. With every new character or new squad that's introduced, a new faction, they have to make it slightly more powerful than what preceded it in order to accomplish two things. One, it gives us the drive to get the new character. Imagine if, Darth Revan and Darth Malak were the slowest, weakest characters released, everyone would say, well, I'm not going to waste my time on those. So they have to be a little better than what preceded it. The other reason is because they are a business. They need to give an incentive for people to spend money. And if they say, here's the most powerful toon under these specific metrics, it's going to make people want him. And because of that, make them spend a couple of bucks to get them. Now, the problem with power creep and what happens sometimes is when too much of that extra power, quote unquote, is given to a new toon. And this happened with the worst scenario was with Jedi Knight Revan. When he was introduced, he was so overpowerful, he was so OP that it pushed that power creep jump exponentially ahead. Whereas, Rey Jedi Training comes out and she was more powerful. When Jedi Knight Revan was released, he was way overpowered.
godlike.
Darth Revan was released with Malik, then it became like, you can't touch this. We all love Urzatron. We love watching his Grand Arena streams. His intro for Darth Revan is money, because he's the money. If you got the money, you got,
Yeah.
you got it. You could do whatever
First
you
we
want.
get the
It's
money,
like
then we get the khakis, then we get the Malik.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yes.
right. Look, it's interesting. And, look, I took all that away from this survey, but, like Deadpool Kyle.
And that was 51. It was a 51% on the survey.
Yeah.
As a very big problem.
I would have thought, Hellenix, that, the power creep didn't quite begin. Like, you got it, you nailed it. I mean, like, realistically, it did really start with Commander Luke Skywalker. A lot of people found that as, just a broken character. But for mine, the power creep really began way before Jedi Knight Revan. I'm hell bent on saying that Traya was the one that started this whole thing.
Well, my counter argument to Traya being overpowerful, and she was overpowered when she came out, but with Traya, you had to, quote unquote, earn her. You had to be in a guild who was working hard at Heroic Sith Raid, who was grinding it out, and it would take time. It was the same as with General Kenobi, when the Hat Raid was first released. Really important tune, very, very powerful, but you had to grind them out. Yeah,
let's get Kyle in here on this one. How about the power creep for you?
Look, and hearing the conversation, I've been replaying moments throughout SWGOH. The power creep really did start with CLS, but it didn't get out of hand until, it didn't get extremely out of hand until Jedi Knight Revan came out, because
Agreed.
They decided to take a handful of tunes that were considered great tunes, and they were like, well, why don't we just put it into one? And they made it so that they made his power creep so high that the next character that had to come out, or the next two characters in this case, they had to be extremely better. When you take a character like Jedi Knight Revan, who, in my opinion, is still probably the best character, single character leader, whatever you want to consider him, in the game right now. And obviously, like I said, that is my opinion.
I'd agree with that.
It just, that's where it got out of hand. Jedi Knight Revan, the first time he came around, if you didn't have those characters ready, you were gonna lose your HSTR scores. You were gonna lose in arena. You were gonna lose. It just, you were boned. For lack of a better word.
What it comes down to, though, is that darn savior ability combined with Mark on one character.
Yeah.
And then, then Jolie Findu.
That's very true. But guys, what was your takeaways from the actual survey itself? I mean, what were the big things that you think that Capital Games need to fix?
Well, for me, Scotty, on this one, it's absolutely the biggest thing that I noticed. The biggest response of everything was, how do you rate the value the game provides for your money?
Yeah.
When it's almost, $15 US to get a stun gun.
$30 Australian.
I mean, I do not buy stun guns in the Crystal Store. That is, it may hamper me, but you know what? That is where I draw the line. Anything that costs 1,400 crystals to get a full piece, that might not even be a full piece in Gear 12 land is where I draw the line. You don't put a piece of gear up for more than, $7.50, maybe $8 in US. I'm okay with maybe doing that, but if you buy a $10 pack, you can't even buy a stun gun, and that's a problem.
I'd agree with you on all of that, Paul. Because from an Australian perspective, you take the currency and what you guys see in the game over there. So you guys might be looking at, say, a $14.99 pack. Double it in Australia, it's $30.99 in Australia. You see those packs that you guys might see in there, like there might be a $49.99 pack. It's $120 here in Australia. So, it's not cheap to play the game in Australia or New Zealand or the UK. So when they come out with all these different packs and things, like, that needs to be, the currency needs to be, sort of brought over into line into each country as well. I mean, sure, our economy may not be that strong compared to the United States. I mean, I think we're at around about 49 cents at the moment to your dollar. But having said that, we need to look at it from a global perspective, I think, and say, you know what? Guys, look, it's a $6.99 pack in America. Let's make it a $9.99 pack in Australia. That would be better than a $14.99 pack in Australia. That's my opinion.
Yeah. But, for me, everything comes down to I have no problem feeling like I want to spend $1 or $2 here, $1 or $2 there. Who am I kidding? $10 or $20.
Oh, me either.
I have no problem in doing that when it's like the Super Shard Mega Packs. Go back to our first show, Scotty. Remember how happy I was when Droideka came out and you got 10 more crystals for just 1 penny?
That's
Do you
true.
remember that joke that I threw out there? I have no problem with those.
Yeah.
But where I draw the line is the gear. The gear should not cost that much.
Yeah, and they released that new pack this week as well, which I do like. Here in Australia.
Yeah, Android
I was
Boy.
just going to say that. Yeah, that pack was phenomenal.
It was exceptional.
Reminded me of the crystal booster packs. Like there were certain ones like that where you say those are why don't those exist?
Yeah,
for the middle person. We got the free to play guys. They're not going to spend. I understand that. More power to them. I love people that can hoard and they have 20,000 crystals saved up and they know how to do it. Awesome. Then you got your Krakens they're going to buy everything. Okay, great. What about the guy in the middle who wants to spend $5?
Yeah.
He can't.
Yeah, that's right. And,
or the girl who wants to spend 10 on but this last pack, I got to give them credit. You got to give credit where credit is due. That pack from CG was awesome.
$14.99 in Australia.
That.
Yeah, it was a great pack. $14.99 in Australia. I loved it. I bought it. I snapped it up immediately. Although there was a few issues with trying to get that pack immediately, but I managed to get it. And I was quite happy about it. But it was a great pack. And I feel you guys on that too.
If I could interject one thing as well to all the listeners, one thing that everyone should remember as well is that, we are each ourselves in control of our own pocket, of our own wallet, of our own pocketbook, or, whatever the case.
Absolutely.
Always remember that at the end of the month, there is someone at the company who looks at the numbers. If you're not satisfied with a particular thing, whatever that is, a pack, purchasing crystals in order to buy a stun gun, don't buy it. That speaks volumes. And it is something that, many of us have been guilty of it. You feel like you got to chase after the Joneses. If I don't do this, I'm going to start losing in Squad Arena. Believe me, a month or two of people saying, this is worth the money. That isn't. I'm buying this. I am not touching that.
Yeah.
And if the whole community is diligent about doing that, their prices will adjust. Part of the problem is when most of the community drops $500 to get Darth Malak at the last second, it's going to send them a message that maybe they should have charged $600 or $700.
If you are going to go onto the picket line, do not cross it.
Totally.
Correct.
100%. Hey, guys, it's been great to have you in the Round Holotable today. We could keep going on and on and on, but
Thank you.
You know, it was so good to have you both here. Deadpool Kyle and also Hellenix.
Me?
Shameless Self Promotion to Hellenix, of course. Don't forget to check him out in the link in the description below. Both guys, Deadpool Kyle and also Hellenix, you guys are doing a great job on the with your content. It is sensational. But we've got to get to Urzza. He's coming up in just a moment in our incoming transmission right here on the Escape Podcast.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and you are listening to the Escape Podcast.
Hi, guys. This is Scotty McLaren here, and I've got to tell you guys about a big plea that we are, of course, doing to try and help out our good friend Paul Anthony and his wife Christy. Now, you may have seen in our listener comments just recently that I posted a GoFundMe link, and it's to help out Paul and the medical bills for his beautiful wife Kristen, who began to rapidly feel weaker and weaker in September of 2018. Turns out that Kristen has been, of course, diagnosed with lymphoma, and she's going through a really rough time. Now, as I'm sure you can imagine, medical bills are not cheap. So we've put together a GoFundMe to try and help out Paul and help out Kristen. Now, as you guys know, I don't do this show for any cash. I do it as a love affair to help Paul out and also to provide an escape for Paul for what he goes through on a day-to-day basis when he sees reality. The reality is that Kristen's lost her hair, and that's devastated Paul, as I'm sure you can imagine. She's been going through quite a bit of chemotherapy of late. Now, we have a goal in mind of $10,500. It does sound like a lot of money, but realistically, when someone you love is suffering from cancer, it ain't cheap. So guys, please, if you can, dig deep. Everything helps. So on behalf of Paul and his wife Christy, I ask you, I beg of you, to please dig deep and donate to the GoFundMe. So please, $1 is all it takes. Give us a hand and help out with the GoFundMe. And help us out with reaching this goal that we've got in mind to try and help them get through these medical bills. For more details, see the description below or head to the Listener Lounge where you'll also find the link.
If you like what you hear on the Escape Podcast, sign up to become a Patreon today. Support Scotty and Paul for as low as $2 a month, and you can help them launch Escape Pods for months to come. Visit patreon.com/theescapepod to sign up. Support us today.
Hey there, it's Silo Takedown from Takedown Games, and you're listening to the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Pod, cast for kids. It's really cool.
Hello there, boys and girls, and welcome to the Escape Pod, cast for kids with me, the Nev. Today we're going to talk about a very important element of the game. In fact, it is probably the most important element of the game outside the progress you make gaining characters through your farming. Guilds. Guilds are there to bring the community together. There are aspects of the game you need membership within a guild in order to participate. You need to be in a guild to take part in raids, so you can qualify for characters like General Kenobi, Han Solo and Traya. Not to mention the wealth of rewards you can collect like guild currency and gear for your character. You also need to be in a guild so that you can reap the rewards from territory wars and territory battles, whose rewards are extremely beneficial to the progress of your account, and also lead to the gaining of characters, namely Rebel Officer Leia Organa, Imperial Probe Droid, Wampa, and Hermit Yoda. Territory Wars rewards get as good as Zeta materials, the most important of ability promoting materials, and crystals, which we all know can be applied to all aspects of the game. Now we've established that guilds are very important, let's talk about how a guild is going to help you and the type of guild that you need to be in that will benefit you the most. There are 4 types of guild, with the 4th type of guild being broken down into even smaller types of guild. But that is for people who have older, more endgame accounts, and not really for those of you with early game accounts. So the main 4 types of guild are: Number 1, beginner guilds. These are guilds that everyone can access when your account reaches level 22, and they are a very good way for you to learn the basics. Number 2, intermediate guilds. These are guilds you want to join that run all the events you can qualify for, including raids and events, and these open up to you at around about level 65. Endgame Guilds are the third type of guild. These are guilds that run all the raids, including some heroic and events, and are building up towards participating in the heroic Sith raid. These are guilds that usually require a minimum level and GP requirement, and you should look for a guild that suits your level and GP. The last type of guild can be broken down into lots of categories, as I said earlier, but I'll just stick with the general description. The fourth type of guild is the heroic guild. A heroic guild is a guild that participates regularly in all heroic raids, which means you're guaranteed to get character shards. These type of guild also tend to do well in the guild events, territory wars, and territory battles, which rewards guild members with high rewards. Getting accepted into a heroic guild usually requires you to be at level 85 and not only have a high GP, but have certain characters that are required for the guild events and heroic raids. Now you know the types of guild out there, you can figure out what will be best suited for you, depending on what your level and GP is. One important element you must keep in the back of your mind, though, is the star requirement for heroic raids. Unless you have 7-star characters, you can't join heroic raids or collect the rewards, so stick with that beginner guild until you have a few 7-star characters before looking for an intermediate guild. Then you will make the progress to the other 2 types of guild. Always remember to communicate with your guild members, as they are there for help and cooperation, and for everyone's benefit, it makes sense to talk and chat both in-game and on Discord. In a future segment, maybe we can talk about each of the types of guild in more detail, but for now, you know the basics. That's all for me this week. Thank you for joining me for Storytime with the Nev on the Escape Pod, Cast for Kids.
The CFH Network presents the Escape Pod Cast.
Micaeus Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Micaeus will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Micaeus has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans and more. Contact Micaeus today on Discord at all lowercase Micaeus number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127 or at micaeusmods@gmail.com. Micaeus Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Pod Cast.
Hey guys, it's the Nev here. If you want to hear more content from me, please come over to my channel. It's Nev. Simple as that. But if you're looking for me and you need to type something in the search, best put in my full name. It's Neil Andrew Eyre. You can also follow me on Twitter at PomPomtastic1, and you can find me on Discord, Nev, #9515. Hope to hear from you soon. Come on over, give me a like and a subscribe.
Hey everyone, it is the heartthrob of the Outer Rim, your boy Urzza, and you are listening to the Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Scotty McLaren. Boys, I think I speak for all of us when I say you are hot, you are red hot.
Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission.
And welcome back to the Escape Pod Cast. And I tell you what, guys, we thought we'd get the king of 3v3 on this very show. He is, of course, the man that loves the gaffy sticks. He's the man that loves Lobot versus the meta. And he's also the man that loves to put really crazy teams together. And I love him for that. Urzatron, hello, my friend. Welcome back to the Escape Podcast.
Paul, Scotty, guys, I am so glad to be back with you. It is absolutely fantastic. I love your show. So the fact that you guys asked me to come back, it feels great. So we're talking 3v3, right?
Yeah, we are, my friend. Yeah. What sort of teams have you got that you recommend people to start farming?
So I've got a really interesting comp that I ran into this last Grand Arena, and boy, oh boy, did it kind of throw me for a loop. It is. So most people that have a Jedi Knight Revan team, it's in 3v3. They usually run Jedi Knight Revan, Jolie, and Grandmaster Yoda, right? That's like the traditional comp that you would run with that team. Well, what I saw was they had Ezra as the third on that team, and I'll look at it and go, okay, this is Jedi Knight Revan, this is Jolie, and this is Ezra. This is a very good team. I'm still going to throw my best Revan counter at this just to make sure I can win. Well, that in turn frees up Basti and Grandmaster Yoda, because those two are not in that comp. So you can run a Basti lead with Sweet Basti, so light side Basti, with Grandmaster Yoda and Hermit Yoda, so Basti with both of the Yodas. And you put some blazing speed on your Basti, and boy, oh boy, all of a sudden, it is a very deceptively just amazing team. Lots of foresight spam, lots of protection regeneration, lots of assist, and Hermit's there putting the master's training on both of them. Holy crap, I put 5 really good quality teams into this thing and got the barn doors just blown off, man. It was bad news.
Oh, no.
Telling you, this is a very deceptively good team. Fast Basti, tons of just rejection or protection regen. I'm telling you, you're going to use your good Revan counter there, Paul, and you're going to use it on that Jedi Knight Revan team, and then all of a sudden you're dealing with this super fast team.
That's nuts.
So maybe we're thinking that could be like a back row kind of stopper, if you will.
Yeah, I put 5 teams up against it, and it was basically nest and cure. It was the only thing that got through it, and that was after me, burning 5 teams. So you don't. I can't. It just totally caught me off guard. I've never seen anything like it, and it's a very strong play.
Have you seen the Jolie Old Ben lead with Jolie and also Hermit Yoda together before on defense?
So we're talking Old Ben lead with Jolie and Hermit. Yes, that's like a timeout build almost, right? Like, how would you get through that?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I haven't gone against it, but it sounds very interesting. Hermit Yoda in 3v3, man, that dude can do some stuff if you got the right build around him. I have a whole new respect for that guy. I mean, I'm obviously a Wampa guy. I farm Wampa first. And but man, I was just totally blown away by that team I mentioned earlier.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you were, what is, of all the 3v3 teams that you run, aside from the well, I mean, you can even include the gimmick, quote unquote, teams. I mean, what puts a smile on your face when you're dropping it on defense?
Dropping it on defense. Oh man, let me think about this. I tell you what, the Tuskens have gotten defensive holds. I normally save them for offense because they're such a fan favorite on my channel. Tuskens have gotten defensive holds, and Grievous, Droideka, and B2 have gotten defensive holds as well for me. So I think those teams are so they're not popular among my they're not popular among my GP level. A lot of people don't know what to do against that, and especially when you're I was running the Grievous lead team before I had my Grievous finish up for the Padme event. And man, like that was getting a lot of defensive holds, and a lot of people just underrate it. They see a little bit of purple and they're like, I'll throw something a little lighter at this. And then he just kind of goes and ramps up.
You finally got that Droideka. I remember the night.
I got him. It was a lot of money spent trying to get those guys.
Well, look, before we go any further, Urzza, I've got to actually do something here, man, on the Escape Podcast, because there is something that you do tend to do, and you did talk about them just a second ago, and I've got to give you the intro.
There you go, guys. Crack open a cold one.
Don't you dare roll up on these Tuskens uninvited, because when it's time for action, they kick it into overdrive.
Tusken.
When the meta shows up, you better grab your gaffy stick and mount up, because it's time to take out the trash. Pure, unadulterated Tusken. So crack open some cold ones and call up the fellas, because these Tuskens know how to party. Tuskens versus the meta.
Here we go. Wow. It's so weird hearing yourself.
Man, I've got
a long time ago we recorded that. Long time ago.
Man, I've got to ask you, man, because now we're moving into the Tuskens versus the meta, and these teams that those gaffy sticks, man, and story time, they can take down some teams, brother.
Yeah, they can. I typically use them when I see them is a first order team. That's kind of like the threshold of if I see some Zetas on crew, it's a little dicey there. They can do a little bit more in 5v5 just because they need a bit of a tank, just so that if Raider gets targeted, he's your DPS. If he goes down, then it's problematic. But really, they're pretty good. They're a lot of fun. I would say crew and just first order in general, maybe like a G11 if you've got your Tuskens pretty geared. It's about the level they can handle. They can do some stuff.
Define pretty geared.
Well, so my Tuskens are all G12, and they have the 3 pieces on the left. So,
and
they have decent mods.
And Macias helped you out with modding the Tuskens too, didn't he?
Yeah. I listened to your episode last week, and he's very true. He said, I had a priority list, and I absolutely did. I gave it to him, and I'm like, bro, I gotta have my Aurora, my U fast, because he speeds everybody else up. So, and then it was pretty much standard advice though, because the crit damage on Raider, crit chance, and then potency and speed on the other two. So it's pretty good.
Love it, man. Love it. Paul, over to you, brother.
Yeah, it's such a great thing that both of us have Macias on speed dial now, because Macias is the one who eventually ended up getting me at Padme after 352 attempps.
That's amazing, Paul. I was at 200, so I know how you're feeling, man.
Yeah.
You love to bring the womp. And
the womps.
You love to bring the womp. And my friend, what teams do you recommend? Who do you recommend as the leader for the womp?
Well, so normally, you guys know I normally like to run my Rex lead with Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
That's just the trio I run. But if I'm not using Rex there, I think he's absolutely fantastic with the Womps. I think it's pretty much common knowledge now that Rexy and Wampa and XYZ can fit in that third spot and just do absolutely fantastic. So I would say universal leads. You can do stuff like IG-88 if you have him laying around, and maybe a Taunter, so that way you have some dot synergy there. Also, Thrawn lead. Thrawn lead is deceptively play. I don't know. I'm very sorry. Did I cut out there because my screen just went to sleep?
That's all good, man. We got you still.
Okay.
We got you. Yeah, it's a good team, the Wampa, and it's certainly something that a lot of people certainly underestimate, especially on offense, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I typically use my Wampa for Phoenix solos. And I think we're finally at the point, for the first 9 seasons of Grand Arena, I was seeing a Phoenix team every damn time, and it was just glorious because it was a 1-on-5, a 1-on-3, and Wampa would just go in there and kick ass and just clean house. And now I think people have wised up. They know that if I put my Phoenix out there, or any Rebels out there, I run the chance of getting just lit up. Wampa's going to go nuts and just solo me. One more thing I want to add about that, the counter that I struggle with when I have my Womps out there, and my Womp is straight legit, man. He's pretty much maxed out except for the 2 G12 plus pieces.
Man, he is the cornered beast. He is the cornered beast.
Yeah. He is the cornered beast, man. He's angry and he's hungry. But the one team that I will caution you is a Jin lead with like Chase, because you have the pre-taunt there, you have the cleanse if you daze them with Churret, and then the turn meter reduction and the stuns. It can do work. It's a very impressive team. It's a good anti. If you have to put your Rebels on D, run a Chase with Jin lead and a couple other stunners in there, and that can do it. That can totally upset a Wampa solo.
No.
Yeah, I did try to break my Wampa into a Phoenix fight. And unfortunately, I didn't have the Wampa geared enough So, I one time, and this was the championship round. I actually finally got to the championship round. I saw a Phoenix there, and I'm like, hey, I got a Wampa. I'm going to throw him in, and Gear 8 doesn't cut it against Gear 11 Phoenix. So, and I caution people going, hey, I could just throw Wampa. You still need to gear him, but he is the beast.
And what I'll add to that is if you're seeing, even if you're just, I have had the upside of going against Phoenix, a fully maxed Phoenix team. Sabine with the Zeta can do some stagger stuff. And there's some turn meter reduction. Those guys just keep going and going and going. So I have lost that one against a max Zeta team, Phoenix Zeta team. So just another thing to be wary of if you're going with the Wampa solo.
Yeah, oh my, it's problematic in the hole.
It's problematic.
For mine, it was Hera lead with Kanan and Chopper, actually. That is actually a good Phoenix team if you're not using Sabine.
Yeah.
Juggles those taunts back and forth, back and forth.
But where's the DPS coming there, Paul? That's a question I got to ask. Where is the DPS coming? It seems like maybe you just outlast it.
It's more of a time. Yeah, it's a timeout team. It's absolutely a time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey, Urzza, look, the thing, man, that I wanted to talk to you about as well in this particular podcast episode, man, you've got some really cool 3v3 teams, and I love that. But, man, are you bringing the entertainment, my friend? Like, lately, especially on those chats, man, Cora, she's been looking out for people, man, in the back of the hall there. And, man, you're just bringing it. I've got to congratulate you on that, man. I've got to give you all of the 150%. It is, of course, gratified, certified Urzatron. It's perfect. And, man, I want to congratulate you on all your success, brother, because, especially with that Han Solo and Carbonite behind you, man, you are on fire, my friend. Well done.
Thank you, man. I'm looking at Han right now. He's got a nice blue light on him. He's really looking sharp. No, guys.
I think the last time that we talked to you was the week that you bought it.
Yeah, I was pumped up, man. I was still. Before we were recording here, me and my family were just listening to my son play the ukulele. We're all laying on the floor of the office, and Han's just towering over us. Yeah,
man. No, you're on fire, bro. You really are.
Thank you, man. It's been a for the game being in the state that it is right now. I think we can all agree it's pretty rough right now. I'm a little, it's kind of been a little unsettling, I would say. And I'm usually the optimist when it comes to this game. Just the amount of just stuff that's kind of gone on. So I'm very happy that I've seen continued growth and just the support for the hall pour in while the game is in a very, awkward place right now. And, full disclosure, guys, I believe CG is going to get it right and we'll be feeling good again. But yeah.
I hope so, man. I really do. And, look, man, I just got to say, for anyone that hasn't gone and watched Urzatron do the Grand Arena, what are you doing? This is the original Grand Arena guy. You've got to do it. And I tell you, it is just entertainment plus from the start right to the very end. And, man, I got to say, because I'm such a fan of yours, man, please don't force choke me.
Careful what you wish for, Scotty. Soundboard up here.
Well, feed me to the Sarlacc, man. I don't want to be fed.
There you go. You feeling that all the way across the ocean?
I am, man. I am.
And the thing is, if any of our listeners, for some odd reason, have not checked out Urzza, the best way to describe Urzza's channel is you have your standard Grand Arena, but you have it's WWE Grand Arena. I mean, seriously, that is the perfect way to describe your streams, because you have entrance themes, you have.
That's it, man.
You've got gimmicks. If you could take a bump in a chair, you would.
The chair shot. Absolutely. That is a perfect way to describe it, Paul. I can tell you've listened, because it is very much high on the production value, high on fun, over the top zaniness, lots of audience interaction. Really, the audience decides who gets over and who gets an intro, and all this stuff, just like in professional wrestling. So, and I try and channel my best Jim Ross, the great Jim Ross, who's the wrestling commentator here in the States, is absolutely fantastic, and try and channel him when I do my play-by-play.
Are you a little bit
Let's see if I can get it right. By God, he's got a gaffy stick.
Good God Almighty! He hit him with a gaffy stick. He punished him over the back of the head.
Those are the best things. You've been recently doing stuff with Cubs as well.
Yeah.
For the CFH, the worldwide leader in jorts, as I call it.
Yep.
And, it's the fact you guys have the play-by-play on there for the 1v1 tournaments. I truly, truly think that we should do a faction-based 1v1 tournament. Every faction sends their leader,
their representative
to the pits, Mortal Kombat style, and then we find out who the true champion is.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that could be fun. That's a great idea. I'll have to run that by Cubs next time we're recording.
Oh, we've been talking about it. I just think that it does need to happen, and now I'm putting that out there for everyone to hear.
So Urz, there's two parts to this question, man. We've got Enfys Nest, who is of course the original baby girl, who's your baby girl.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. What are we calling
girl?
What are we calling Padme now, mate?
So Padme is getting her intro. I'm actually working on it tonight. I'm Grievous and Padme were up next for intro, so I gotta hold back on that. You're gonna hear it shortly, and I'm working on it tonight. So tune into the hall, and you'll see the new intro.
And the other question, is
we're recording this on Monday. We're recording this on Monday,
so Wednesday night will be offense.
We may have already seen it on Wednesday. Yeah, I was gonna say we may have already seen it. But and right now, hopefully, people will be tuning in and then swapping over to the Urzatron Grand Arena stream.
Well, I will give you guys a hint. I will give you guys a hint. It is much like Padme. If you guys follow the memes at all, she's very. She's kind of a cougar, and let's just say we celebrate the older women with this song we're going to be singing. So that's all I'll say.
Yes.
I already know.
It's another Beauty and the Beast type intro, man. That's awesome.
All I gotta say is thank you for being a friend.
Yeah.
That's a good hey, down the road and back again.
And the next question is, man, is that how disappointed are you, man, that ships are no longer being used at the moment in Grand Arena? I mean, you've got an awesome ships intro.
The ships intro took the longest out of everything I've done, and it was a community effort, lots of fun times. I'm kind of relieved that Ships is not in there because I imagine that would be my downfall. So we've gotten victories the last 2 times in those ships, so I'm all right with it for now. But we can always do the Ships outro as a celebration if we win.
Yeah, excellent. That's what I like to hear. Well, guys, get on over, go and check him out, Urzatron. He is our god on this channel. I'll tell you that, and I am so happy that he is going off right now with people supporting him and showing their support. Man, you mean a lot to me, brother. You know that. And mate, Cora sends her love to you too.
Oh, you tell that sweetheart the hall misses her, and we'll see her again real soon for next Grand Arena.
Sounds good to me. And this is, of course, the Escape Podcast. Stick around. The bridge is up next.
You're listening to the Escape Podcast with Scotty, McLaren, and Paul Anthony.
G'day, this is Scotty McLaren, and I'm here to tell you about one of the many game changes that, of course, started this working relationship between Paul Anthony and myself, and that is, of course, Cubs fan Han.
All right, let's go.
If it wasn't for Cubs fan Han, we wouldn't be a part of the CFH network. And being a part of the CFH network is something that both Paul and myself hold very dear.
Oh, that is not depressing.
If you haven't been and liked Cubs fan Han's channel yet, what are you doing? This man knows a fair bit about the game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Am I Mormon? Who cares about religion? This is Galaxy of Heroes.
Well, most of the time. He does some really cool things on his channel, and one of the many things you should be checking out is the top 25 for each month.
I fully expect that he will be the #1 character next month.
He also does live streams for Grand Arena, and and sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't.
I'm not going to make the same mistake I've made before.
And he provides second to none gaming advice for all of you guys.
Snowtrooper might deserve the proverbial shoe to be thrown.
So what are you waiting for? Go and give Cubs fan Han a like today over on YouTube. If you want more details, well, check it out in the description below.
Tournament is so much better this month than it was last month. Oh my goodness.
And as Cubs fan Han always says,
Han shot first.
Like what you hear on the Escape Pod cast? Want to support Scotty and Paul? Then sign up to be a Patreon. For as low as $2 a month, you can help them launch Escape Pods for months to come. Visit patreon.com/The Escape Pod to sign up. Support us today.
The Escape Pod cast with Scotty McLaren and Paul Anthony. The Escape Pod cast. The Bridge.
Welcome back. And look, if you've got a question for Paul and myself, you can certainly leave it in our listener lounge. We'll get to those as soon as we possibly can. But that chat with Urzza, man, that was so much fun.
Oh my gosh, that was great. We had to hold on to that for 2 weeks because we both. I don't know what it is, but a lot of people called it game of colds. Both of us came down very, very sick over the weekend, and I don't even watch the darn show. But it gave me a good excuse to be able to, see who ended up on the Iron Throne, and so.
all I know about, man, that show is that it's dragons and boobies, man. That's all I know. But, that's all I know. Hey, look, I just wanted to send in a shout out if I can, because I'm really excited about this, man. If you would indulge me for a second, big shout outs to my real life big brother, Omnival, who's listening to us at the moment, man. It's good to have you here with us, brother, and it's good to see that you are, of course, playing the game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I only found this out about 4 weeks ago, so it's there's my brother right there, sharing the koala in the listener lounge. Love it.
Oh my gosh. The funny thing, you told me actually how you found out that your brother actually plays this game. He found the podcast, and then he found you. It was like, I play this game too. You didn't even know.
No, I didn't. He's been playing now for about a year or two, I think he said. So, it's crazy. So now I can't even escape my brother. But anyway, now we're on the Escape podcast together, so that's good. It's good to have him here.
Exactly.
Hey, Paul, man,
I
I've
was
got to send in a
just going to say.
Yeah, man. I think it's time that we do something for one of our very own content creators, man, who's actually got his own GoFundMe, which is happening at the moment, man. Tell us more.
Yeah, so this is your last call. If you have any questions you want us to answer, ask them now. Otherwise, we're going to be launching this sucker in just a moment. But guys, I have my own GoFundMe. Yes, I know that. And as a father myself, I really need to come forward and ask for your guys' help. If you don't want to donate to help me, please donate to our very own Nev.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into his circumstances on any of this, but this is a huge summer for him and his kids. He cannot work right now in the U.S. because he's actually following the law. He's being penalized because he's following the law. He can't get a job right now to bring his kids to the U.S. He can't go to the U.K. for pretty much the same reason, or otherwise he loses his place in line. So I'm on my knees as much as I can while I still have a microphone in front of me. If you can donate to Nev, get his kids here for the summer, please. We just posted the link inside the listener lounge.
Savage Diva just did that. Yeah,
yep.
She just did it. Beautiful. Thank you, Savage.
We're posting it in our YouTube down below. We're going to post it in all the podcast descriptions. Come find me if you need a link. I will make this happen. I want his kids here because I never had the chance to spend the summer with my son. Don't let it happen to Nev. So please, on behalf of Scotty and I, make it happen. Do we have any questions?
Could not agree more. No, nothing at this point in time, my friend. But look, before we get moving, man, like, you know, the Patreons. What do they get if they become a Patreon? My brother just became one, which is good. So
yes,
what's
he gave you $10,
man? He did, yeah.
So if you're a Patreon, for $2 you can get into the Patreon only chat where we'll throw some things that we don't throw in the main chat into the Patreon chat to get an idea of what's going on. That's our Gamorrean Guard level. We have the Rebel Alliance level, which gives you access to our after show chat. While we're getting the podcast portion of this ready, you right now on Discord, you're listening to it live. While we get the version that we send out to the podcast, because we have to marry two of them together, then we talk to you guys while we're doing our work for it. Phoenix Squadron gets you access to, which is $15 a month, gets you access to the bullpen, which is where we do our work, where you could kind of get a preview of what we're doing. And then we have the Galactic Empire.
The listeners actually got a preview of that this week, actually, because we got Hellenix and Deadpool Kyle through our listener lounge. So that's what happened there.
That is true. Galactic Empire, Scotty will go over your roster every single month with you. By the way, that's a little nudge to make sure you get everybody else's.
Yeah, I've got to catch up there, guys. I'm sorry. So there's a few there that I got to do.
But you're consistent with it, which is great. But then is the big one, the Emperor. I will, as you guys know, I am a territory battle aficionado. Spreadsheets are my love. I've taken a 33-star territory battle team, and within a year, we got 45 in light side. We're at 48. We're in 47 on dark side, only because we don't have the mathematical GP to do it. I will help you guide your guild all the way to the maximum amount of stars that you possibly can. I've done it. Ask for references if you need to. And just think about this. If your guild, you've got 50 people, $1 per person, boom. You guys are getting expert level territory battles coaching
assignments
from
everything
me personally. And it's it could be $1 per person on that, or $5 per officer if you have 10 officers. But I promise I'll do everything. And Scotty's going to help you on territory wars. Exactly.
Yeah.
I got the hiccups all of a sudden.
Add to that too. No, you're right, man. You're right. And add to that as well. I mean, like, I just wanted to let you know that I just got the Emperor shuttle to 7 stars, so that was one of our big problems. So there's another one that you can use.
Me too. Me too. We're done with. We've got all the platoons.
Yeah, we've got it filled. We're ready to go. But Paul, I believe, mate, that before we get on out of here, man. Look, unfortunately, we haven't got any questions here.
That's fine. That's fine
at the moment. But that's
hit them up
okay.
later.
But, mate, you've got something very important that you want to say.
Well, yeah, when we began this endeavor earlier this year, and even when we started planning it since last year, guys, Scotty and I have always had one thing in mind: entertaining anyone and everyone that plays the game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Yeah, and look, as you guys all know, too, this actually started out as a way for Paul to escape reality for a few hours on Friday nights and to do what both of us love to do: entertain you all with the magic of a radio show-styled podcast.
Yeah, and we've had guests on from all corners of the globe, all walks of life, and every single skill level.
Yeah, look, I'm just going to mention a couple here, from new and smaller content creators like Xylo Takedown, even Deadpool Kyle, who was on the show with us today, to even our first episode, Cubs fan Han, the man that brought us together, to people like Hellenix, Urzza. Look, we thank you all for believing in all of us, guys. Everyone that's been on the show, Going Nerdy, we thank you so much from the bottom of our heart for believing in this show.
And this is the fun part. Here comes the big announcement. And the listeners, without any of you, we could not be at the place that we are right now to be able to make this announcement that we're about to make. Scotty?
It is with the most humble hearts that we announce that we have been given the green light from Capital Games to have an interview in the future with them, and we bring it to you in its entirety in the coming weeks and possibly even months, as there is talk of having them on more than once, Paul. This is lots of fun.
Very much. And now, while we cannot talk any specifics of what we'll be talking to them about, when we'll be talking to them, we can tell you that we will be talking with them and bringing you the same quality of questions and discussion and critique that we bring to you with any of our guests. And we implore you to stay tuned, as things are only going up from here. So, with that being said, on behalf of Scotty and I, and every single cast member of the Escape Pod cast, and every single moderator of this great show, we thank you for being fans, for being there with us, and being on this journey. We ask you to stay tuned. With that being said, before we say anything more, I gotta shut up. It's time, my friend.
I want to say more.
Okay, fine. You say more, but you watch your mouth.
Okay, look, I wanted to say more, but before I do, man, I think we need to get out of here, because otherwise I will say something that I shouldn't say.
All right, Scotty, listen to me. You got me?
Yes, mate. Yes, I've got you.
Scotty, push the button.
Don't mind if I do.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Pod cast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Boo Boo, sit. Good dog.